Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. So it's been a busy few months for me, so I've not done as many videos as I'd have liked. You've seen I've done some of the Bosnian series of flies, so I've been out there for a week with a couple of friends, Andy and Robbie. Had a really good time out there. We caught some great fish. Andy had one over £5 of Grayling as well, which was absolutely awesome on, I think, the first day. So I'll continue doing that series of videos for you. This was a fly I actually used out there on the Sana as a point fly. So this is my version of Rozas Pink Pheasant Tail. Main difference is I tie it with a Coq De Leo tail as opposed to an actual pheasant tail. It's a really quick tie. Can knock a load up for your boxes. I'm just working on a new box for my winter season. New box of Nymph, so I'm slowly working through that. So yeah, it's definitely one you want to get in your box. As I say, took some great fish on the Sana for me, this one. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So in the vise, got a SLDJ size 16 with a 4mm metallic pink slotted bead. Going to come in with some UTC 70 in red. I'm going to come behind that bead, cut out my butt section. I'm just going to lock this bead in. So just a few wraps, create a thread dam and lock that in. Right, so next material we're going to put on is some Coq De Leo. So this is a Medio, so medium Pardo. I'm going to pull those 90 degrees from the stem to line the tips up. Probably want 5, 6 max. I like quite a short tail on mine. So I'm going to tie those in, make sure they're right on the top of the shank, and hold the butts and take my thread down to the bend. All the time I'm just going to create a flat thread with some counter spins, and just before the bend, like so. So happy with that for my tail, and then cut my butts out like so. So then the next material is some small red wire. I'm going to tie that in on my side and come back up to that bead. Right, so we're going to take some Mirage Tinsel in medium. I'm going to pull that under, hold my thread and pull it down. That just helps get it right on the top of that shank. So I'm just not quite happy with that, so I'm going to back that off. So lift it under, right on top of the shank, pull it down and tie down back to that bend. You want to come right to the point where you finish tying your tail in. So then the next material is some pheasant tail. So you're only going to want 2 or 3 fibres. I'm going to cut the fine tips off these just so it doesn't break as I'm turning it. So I'm going to tie those in and then lock them all down as I come back up to that bead. So I'm going to wind my pheasant tail over, but I'm going to start it by hand. Just find it less likely to snap if you do it by hand. Then I'm going to catch in my hackle pliers. They've just undone a little bit, so just make sure they're all nice and tight. Right, and then I'm going to wrap this all the way up to the bead. So securing turn that. And cut those out. So now I'm going to put some fly tying wax on. So I've corded my thread up as I put this on. With this really flat thread, you can find it can fray as you put the wax on. So I'm going to pull my tinsel up to that bead, and I'm going to lock this on with a turn, making sure it stays right on the top of the shank. So you can manipulate it a little bit if you need to once it's in. So a turn, 2 turns behind, pull it forward, 2 turns in front, and trim my butt out. So now, only thing we've got to do now is counter ribbit. So I'm going to take that red wire and come under the shank and open turns. So you're going to want 4 or 5 turns, and then I'm going to lock that off and helicopter it out. And then the last thing we've got to do is just put our dubbing thorax on. So this is some ice dub in Peacock black. And you don't want too much, probably 2 or 3 turns. That's 1, 2, 2 and a bit, perfect. Going to clockwise spin it to tighten it up. I'm going to add in a bit of varnish to the thread, and then I'm going to just do a double whip finish. When I find out what I've done with my whip finish tool. There we go, hidden behind the camera. So double whip finish, as always, for extra protection. And I like to have a slight collar in front of that dubbing of the red. So there it is, there's the variation of Rozas Pink Pheasant Tail. Deadly pattern. Definitely one you want to get tied up for both trout and grayling. Just neaten that head up a bit. So really easy to tie, as you can see. So thanks for tuning in again, everyone, and see you on the next video.